Hello, Paula Sawyer here again, with our investigative exposé, and I'm eavesdropping on a meeting between the Faster Than Light sales team and their recently hired advisors. They are 2 days away from the big customer meeting with the global health executives. Let's listen in together.
So, I'm riding with this cowgirl across the outback and she screams when the kangaroo comes out. And I say, "What's the matter? Don't you have grasshoppers in Texas?"
Rob. Dude. I don't know if I should laugh or report you to HR.
But Reggie, we were riding my motorbike. She was from Texas. Riding my motorbike. Outback. Kangaroo. Get it?
Guys, I'm still working on the whole political correctness thing with my colleague, but we'll get there. Oh, and before I forget, thanks for inviting us down to your office. Really nice digs.
Thanks.
I really am happy Sue was convinced that this meeting was in our best interest. After that 20-30 interview, it was clear you guys have your act together.
Don't say a word.
I mean, you guys seem to have all the right tools and say all the right things.
That's flattering, Mike, and thank you for your investing in our methods and tools. But remember, it has taken a lot of time to get here. We've been working on this stuff for over 20 years. Besides, the goal is not to be right, but to get it right.
That is uncanny. That picture just changed to Dave's exact words.
Yep. That's the scroll of guiding principles. The principles scroll across the screen periodically, and they always seem to coincide with Dave mentioning one of them. It's really kinda creepy.
So what brings you two in today?
Well, as you know, we're working to close a deal at Global Health.
Yes, I remember you had quite the conversation with Mr. Rockstar. If I recall, he agreed that his internal chaos needed to be addressed before any vendor could legitimately help him.
That's right. And that's what bought us a little more time. Using the assessment roadmap, we showed them how they were asking for solutions without a clear sense for the problem.
Afterwards, we took time to align our high-level, faster-than-light solution to their business goals, using the alignment of priorities.
Excellent. How did that go?
What's interesting is we were able to show each of the key stakeholders which of their specific interests we'd address, and with the exception of a few changes, we were spot on.
What's even better is once we put it in the hands of Thomas, who is the VP in charge of this special project, he used it to show how all of his projects consolidated for the good of the company. It made him that much more useful to the CEO.
Doubting Thomas, the brown-noser.
What was that, Rob?
Oh, nothing. Just remembered my grass is getting brown. I need to stop and grab a hose. On the way home, that is.
Oh, okay. So as I was saying, I feel like we've made good progress and Rob has packaged our technology into a fantastic solution. So our presentation is in 2 days, and we'd like to review it with you.
Sounds good. Just remember, politeness is the poison of collaboration. Let's take a look at what you've got.
Okay, I've brought up my laptop on the screen behind us.
I'll start with this visual since everyone is comfortable with it. I'll talk at a high level about how our solution contributes to increasing revenue and reducing expenses. I suspect we'll have a little conversation to confirm any changes, then we'll move on.
Afterwards, I'll step in and deliver the technical portion of the presentation. Here's our visual.
Hold on a second, guys. You just did a 1-2-10.
Huh?
You just made an intuitive leap, but you have to be far more intentional. You know, 1 through 10.
What?
What he means is, you've only showed the audience how their organization's priorities are integrated, then you jump straight to a diagram of your solution. You are basically expecting your audience to make an intuitive leap. That's the 1-2-10 Dave is referring to. You have to pace your audience along in a more sequential manner so they understand why your solution is the destination, and more importantly, understand what's in it for them individually.
That sounds nice, but we can't exhaust all of the time we have for this meeting dealing with everything but the details.
Your point is valid, so let's be both quick and effective. Pull up a priorities map, please. The columns across the top are key stakeholders. Not just executives and employees internal to Global Health, but other stakeholders, like Global Health's customers as well. The initiatives on the left are identical to the initiatives on your AOP. Very simply, take a moment to highlight each intersection of stakeholder and initiative where your solution makes an impact.
Well, we definitely impact cost competitiveness for Global Health, improve health and well-being for their executives, employees and customers.
Let's see. We'll also impact the engage and retain priority for their employees and customers too.
As Reggie checks each of those intersections, ask, how are each of those folks measuring success? And what criteria will they use to determine the benefit of your solution?
We should all take note. Priorities map and alignment of priorities are not the same, as previously suspected. They serve different purposes. One for the organization, the other for the individuals within the organization.
Okay guys, the slide is up.
Do you mean like expense reduction over some period of time?
You nailed it, Mike. It's important to speak to your audience as part of the organization, which is what the AOP does, but it's equally important to address their individual points of view, which is what the priorities map does.
And to the point about speed, it can be as quick as a couple of minutes or as long as several days. The tool is flexible, but you will determine how long to extend the dialogue. What's important is that your audience has an opportunity to validate or invalidate their point of view. That way you minimize assumptions and position your solution for their specific needs.
So I can say something like, George, I understand reducing $1 million from operating expenses over the next 3 years is important to you. That's why I've highlighted the cost competitiveness box as one that is important to you.
You're on a roll. Go, Mike, go.
And I suppose because we will become a part of the Global Health Service portfolio, with a little research I can find out what their customers care about most, then suggest that as another criteria for success.
Makes total sense, guys.
I just brought up a solutions map as a next step for you guys. As you see, it has almost the identical look to the priorities map. The initiatives to the left are the same, but the capabilities are your new column headings.
You know I toyed with this in putting together my solution diagram. Let's look at my version.
Dude, that's perfect.
But it's just rows, columns and dots. Certainly not as pretty as my diagram.
True, but what are the offers that support each of the intersection dots? Bring it to life in a story.
Well, our next generation itemizer supports George's need for operating cost reduction by identifying and eliminating redundant charges to Global Health.
Okay. Tell me more.
Version 6.1 of our revenue estimator will verify availability of customer funds and deliver immediate customer satisfaction data, which operational excellence for the sales and marketing team.
Perfect. You see, you have the story, and this is simply the storyboard that allows you to tell it in a way that connects back to what's important to the audience. After the solutions map, you should delve into as much detail as necessary to prove the validity of the solution.
Oh, this is good. Priorities map and solutions map are a nice 1-2 punch. I better get out of here. I can't wait to see how this works in front of the customer.